I believe that we're all spiritual beings. We come into this body on this physical plane, on this earth, not only to have a human experience, but more importantly, to fulfill a soul purpose. That's S-O-U-L. I believe that we know what that purpose is innately, although we may not know it consciously, that our spirit knows, and we continually seek to fulfill that purpose. Yet through our life, we have our human experiences. Wayne Dyer coined a phrase, and he said, we're not humans seeking spiritual experiences, we're spirits having a human journey. And I think really that's accurate. And we go through life with our human experiences, yet we get caught up in the trauma and the suffering and the bliss and the joy, and we experience a whole spectrum of emotions that can really range from anything depression and suicide all the way into the highest bliss. Yet when we have that spiritual reference point, then we can learn to appreciate all of our human experiences, get above that, and fulfill really the reason why we're here in this body. Great to see you guys. My name is Dr. Fred D. Domenico, and I'm introducing the You Are More Powerful Than You Think, not only book, but that introduces the spiritual and emotional healing system that's an acronym called HEALED. It's a 6-step journey that will heighten your awareness, help you refer to that divine power that's innately within all of us. Learn how to clear and love yourself to a more empowering level. How to look at your past from a state of not only empowerment, but to be able to see there's a reason for our greatest pain. There's a gift in our greatest pain. There's a gift in the greatest joy. And every step has a reason that's fulfilling us to our soul purpose. And once we can clear of that emotional chaos in our mind, we can hear the whispers of our innate. That guidance that's with us all the time that may have been covered up by human emotion. And then when we get to that place, we can come into presence. We hear those whispers. We're going to find that purpose, and then we're going to deliver it to the world. Now, what happens is that is a life of fulfillment, right? That's not success or happiness. Fulfillment isn't related to success or happiness. You know, an example, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. Her daughter was killed by a drunk driver, yet she changed the world in the laws of drinking and driving. You know, when you look at people that go to other countries and rescue these young girls that have been kidnapped and now they're in sex trafficking, and they can pull them back and they sit down with their families and cry. That's not happiness. But it is a purpose that makes you look back on your life and say, we made an impact. And ever since I was a kid, the reason I started, ever since I was a kid, I just had this innate belief that I want the world to be different because we lived. And I know that you have that too. That's why you're watching this. Even if it's your own world, even if it's in your family, there's no purpose that is bigger or smaller than any other purpose. It's just the journey of why we're here. And that's why we want to fulfill it. Now, I started this journey because I was going to college. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Man, I was confused. You know, I was raised in a traditional Catholic home. We have these rituals of religion, which, you know, I've kind of been a rule breaker, so that really didn't always resonate with me. But I did get a strong spiritual grounding. But at home, we prayed. And so I was praying, what do I do? What's my purpose? And then I got a pamphlet from chiropractic school. Chiropractors don't know anything, threw it away. God knows they don't know anything. In the meantime, God, what I'm doing. And the problem was I was praying confusing questions, got a third pamphlet, and then I knew when I'm praying and I get an answer 3 times, that's God talking to me. I became a chiropractor without even knowing what chiropractic was. When I got there, I found it was a hands-on healing. It resonated with everything that I already believed. And as I became a chiropractor, I knew I was fulfilling that soul purpose. Patients would come up to me and they'd say, you're always so positive. You're always in a good mood. You're doing this thing that you know you were created for. And I don't know my purpose. And I would think, God, I have a gift that a lot of people don't have. And trust me, it was not easy. There was many, many challenges along that. Many, many celebrations of life and even of death. And I just thought, wow, you know, I have a gift other people don't have. And then years later, I was married, and my wife got cancer. And as she was progressively dying, she sat in the bathtub about 2 weeks before she died, and she said, I don't know if I fulfilled why I came here. And I thought, man, how many people are living and dying with that feeling. And all the time I run into people and they look in their life and they say, I have all this, I should be happy, but there's this space in here because they're not fulfilling their purpose. They can look at conditions outside of them and they can justify, or they feel like, I have to look at this and I have to be thankful, I have to be this, yet there's something that's pulling you, and that's your spirit. That's your spirit pulling you to do something. People say they go through a midlife crisis. I think it's a midlife awareness, because many times we don't even realize our purpose till we get to our 40s. So all you guys in your 20s, you're on a step. People that are older can relate to that. How many times do we make changes in our life? I never thought that I would be here talking to you about this until I watched my wife take her last breath. And then one day, this 6-step system, I'd like to say I was smart and I thought of it. Sometimes brilliance is in the simplicity. I always say the dumber you are, the more successful you'll be. Because when you're smart, you get in your mind and you try to solve problems. This fell on me because I live by faith. And sometimes faith is not being smart. It's just having faith and then creating what you believe and having God talk to you. So this is a system. The healed system is 6 steps. Now, as you go through these 6 steps, you're going to experience things and steps that are going to change, not only change your mind, but create a transformation on the inside out. Right? I'm not here to give you inspiration, because inspiration comes and goes like a roller coaster. Transformation has a product of inspiration. And that pours out in your purpose. So H is honor God within yourself. We start with a spiritual reference point. We're going to go through each step. E, once you have that spiritual grounding and know that I'm here for a reason, there's no worthless or worthful. It's just, I am a child of God. I am a child of the universe. I'm here to do something. Then we can learn how to love ourselves in a very empowering way. When we can do that, we get to A, which is accepting forgiveness. Now we can look at our past differently. We can let go of all those perceptions and limiting beliefs that have held us back. Then we can come into presence with living in now. And then we can hear those whispers, establish our purpose, and then we can deliver it to the world. It's 6 steps that will create a transformation. I just really ask for one thing, and that is knowledge becomes wisdom through experience. This is not a coaching system that's going to give you knowledge. We are going to take you through experiences. So if you're here because you have your soul purpose and you just want to be great, even greater than you are, than what you may be achieving right now, if you don't know what your soul purpose, it doesn't really matter where you're starting. What matters is that you engage. You'll get out of it what you put into it. If you're ready for a transformation, I know you are, you wouldn't be watching this, then now is the time. And so really what it is to be able to let go of everything we know, because you're going to be reminded. There's nothing I'm going to tell you that you don't already know, because that wisdom is already in our spirit. But what you will find is you're going to be reminded of universal principles and laws that will help you achieve and reinforce a consciousness that will create not only a transformation in your life, but a transformation in the lives of everybody that you interact with. So we're going on a journey together. Let's get excited. Let's go together. Let's create an experience that's going to change not only your life, but it's going to impact the consciousness of the rest of the world. And that's why you're here.